Hello everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Saiyan team here that consists of Gokus from basically all parts of the Anniversary, and it was actually one of you guys that suggested making a team guide for this team. So if you guys ever want me to make a team guide or equipment guide for any of the teams that I use in a video or a short, then just go ahead and comment and I'll look at it and then I'll make one of these videos. So this guide is going to consist of both equipment that you can use for any of these characters alongside any Zenkai buffer options that you can have. So overall, it's a pretty in-depth guide, if you will. I would also like to point out that the category that we are currently in will be shown on the top left. So if we're on equipment and I'm talking about Goku, it will say equipment / Ultra Goku or dash or whatever, but category will always be shown at the top left, and for the next category upcoming after that, the timestamp will be right underneath it. So just to make it easier for you guys to follow this guide, and also so you don't have to like skip through the video and be like, oh wait, where is he talking about Kaioken or whatever. But anyways, let's get started. Okay, so before we start on any of the specific equipment, I'm going to talk about some universal equipment that anybody on this team can use. So starting off, we have this Awakened Haha equipment. It has 20% base blast attack, 20% base strike defense, and 33% to base strike attack, and this can be used by any character that is Goku and melee type. So anybody on the team fits it. All of them are Goku characters and melee type. So overall, this gives you a lot of base stats and can be really useful for really any star level. It doesn't matter if you're like 5 stars, 7 stars, or even 14 stars. Any level character could use this. It really is just pretty useful, and again, because it is an awakening equip, you'll have to buy it with rush medals, and you have to go through the whole stupid process of awakening equipment. But okay, so now we have this Legends medal equipment here that you can buy using with Legends medals. So it gives you 45% to base strike attack, and it gives you 30% to base strike defense. So again, this is a universal equipment that anybody on this team can use, and as long as you have 4 S rank equipment, or 4 or 3, I forget which one it is, and the core, the awakening core that you can buy with Legends medals, then you could be able to get it. And it's always guaranteed, the first slot is always guaranteed to be either orange or red. So this is basically guaranteed to at the very least minimum be like Z to godly. Next up, we have this Raichen Saiyan Golden equipment. So this one's going to be a little bit of a weird one, because this one has a lot of options. For slot 1, you can get base strike attack, blast attack, strike defense, and blast defense, and same for slot 2 here, just slightly different percentages. And it can range from 13% to 20, so it's a little bit of a big gap. And the third slot is going to have special move damage, ultimate damage, base key recovery, base critical, or health restoration. So many options, but for this team specifically, I would recommend for you to want to have base strike attack, and then special move damage, because all these guys' blue cards hit like a truck. So focus on the strike and the special move damage, but if one of your guys is really squishy or maybe low stars, go for slot 1 base strike attack, and then for slot 2 go for base strike defense. Now the reason I'm saying base strike defense over blast defense is because we're currently in a strike based meta, so chances are you want to tank against more of the strike units rather than the blast units. So and also ultimate damage is really just for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku. Okay, so this is the current setup I have for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku. Most of it is golden equips or modern equips, but I might as well show you the equips I have for everybody else before I dive into the rest. Okay, so now getting onto the actual equipment for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, more of a deep dive. It's going to be Unfazed Smile. It's a unique equipment that came out when Ultra Beast Gohan dropped. It gives you 15% to base blast attack, 10% to special move damage, ultimate damage, and health restoration, and on top of that 35% to base strike attack. So this gives you just about any offensive attack that you really want. I mean, it feels like it was almost made for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, even though it's actually made for Ultra Beast Gohan. But again, it can be worn by anybody that is yellow or Sun family, and it can be found in the Ultimate Equipment Collection. It's an event. This one here is an awakening equipment that is called You Must Be Frieza. It gives you 10% of base strike defense, 10% of special move damage, 15% of base strike attack, 15% of base strike defense, and an additional 20% of base strike attack and 10% of base blast attack. So if I'm being completely honest, it's probably the most stats that you'll find on any equipment for just about any of the characters. But I mean, this is crazy. I mean, the amount of stats, just the amount of pure base stats that you're getting out of this is absurd. The strike damage, special move damage, and even you're getting a little bit of a blast attack in there. I mean, what else could you not want? The only problem with it is that it is an awakened equipment. Also, do keep in mind that it can only be worn by characters that are Saiyan and Frieza Saga Z. So characters that are not Saiyan from that arc, such as the full power Frieza that just came out, he will not be able to wear this. Same thing with Krillin. So it has to be Saiyan, it has to be from Frieza Saga Z. And you know, as I was saying, the freaking awakening system for this game is horrible. So you know, but there is a mega bonanza going on right now, so make sure to take advantage of it. Okay, so now we have this golded equipment here that gives 20% to base strike defense, 12% to base health, and then it gives you 12% to base blast defense, and then it gives you a 12% magnifier to both strike and blast defense if this character's episode Frieza Saga Z. So this is completely defense oriented. You're not getting a single bit of attack or base blast attack from this, and it can be worn by any Saiyan, powerful opponent, or super warrior, so any of the characters that came out during part 3. But this is completely defense focused, and I would only recommend this equipment if you have like a 5-star or maybe even an 8-star Ultra Super Saiyan Goku. It's from the PvP shop. If you don't have him at high enough stars, then chances are he's going to be a little bit squishy, so this will make him a lot more tankier, so probably a good idea to run this. Alright, so now moving on to the Kaioken equipment, we have this Saiyan Saga unique equipment here that gives you 20% to base blast attack, 10% to base ki recovery, 10% to base health, and it gives you 30% to base strike attack. So it's a really well all-around equipment here that you can run with anybody from Saiyan Saga Z, obviously. And because it doesn't really require, or because it doesn't require any other party members to be Saiyan Saga, like there was this Saiyan Saga equipment that it's really good, but it requires a Saiyan Saga party member. So this is just strictly, it just needs one, and it needs the person itself to be Saiyan Saga Z. So Kaioken Goku is going to perfectly fit for this. The base health is extremely valuable because you want to be tanking more damage for your unique equipment, or not unique equipment, your unique cage, to build up your damage guard. Base ki recovery might not seem important, but it will be important when you're comboing, since you know he gets card draw speed up, but he doesn't get ki recovery up. So when you're comboing, your biggest issue won't be how many cards you drop, but it'll be your ki. So you know, and also you can get this from the ultimate equipment collection, like basically all the other unique equipments here. Okay, so now we have this golden PvP equipment that I believe came out during last year's Saiyan Saga celebration, right before 6th anniversary. But anyways, it gives you 20% of base critical, it gives you 10% base health, and then it gives you an additional 20% of base strike attack with a 10% magnifier to both your strike attack and blast attack if this character's episode Saga Z, which you know obviously this guy is because he's Kaioken Goku. And base critical, I believe it increases your chances of landing a critical attack, but I'm not sure if it also increases the damage it does. It might be both, it might just be one. I'm not too sure of how that works, but you know, besides that, the health is also important because, as I discussed earlier, the unique equipment, the gauge, and it giving you both base blast or base strike defense and also magnifying that by 10%. It's pretty well rounded, and honestly you should definitely invest in this one. It's probably the best one. And not even just that, it synergizes really well with the other unique equipment that I just showed you, because again, this unique equipment, or this golden equipment, just magnifies it by 10% to both strike and blast attack. And over here, this one has 20% of base blast attack, and this one gives you 30% the base strike attack. So it synergizes really well together. And once again, this can be bought with the equipment medal. So this is not in the event for unique equipment, this is medals. Okay, so now this is the final equipment I'm going to show you guys for Kaioken Goku. It's going to give you 20% of base strike attack. I believe this one, slot 2, gives you 18% of base critical and 12.5 strike attack at max. So you know, it's pretty good, and on top of that, it gives you 18% of base strike defense. So this one is definitely a more offensive equipment compared to all the other ones that had a little bit more defensive. So this is more strike focused, and I do want to warn you guys that this slot 1 is not guaranteed to give you strike attack. It can be either base strike attack or base strike defense, so be careful when awakening this. Okay, so we're moving on to the final section for equipment, and it's going to be for LF MUI Goku, who, you know, as you can see, I have a lot of equipment available for him because I just love this saga. But you know, he has a lot of the better ones on average. So, you know, to begin, we're going to be looking at this unique equipment here. It gives you 25% to base blast defense, 10% base key recovery, blue card damage, and it gives you 35% to base strike attack. And base strike attack is going to be important for MUI specifically, and I'm going to show you in just a second, because the equipment, the other ones I have, don't give you base strike attack. They give you magnifying base strike attack. So pretty important. Anybody from Tournament of Power basically, and it can be found in the Ultimate Equipment Collection event. Alright, so now this is another Golden Awaken equip. There's a lot of Golden Awaken equips, I'm just realizing, but you know, have fun awakening all of this. But it's going to give you 22% of base strike defense, 15% base strike defense again, base blast defense, 10% special move damage, and then it'll give you 6% magnifying strike damage per Saiyan or God Key member. So on this team, it's going to give you the max, since, you know, everybody's the same. So it'll give you 18% magnifying strike attack. I keep saying magnifying in case you don't know what that means. It'll take all of your base, including equips and the actual stats of the character itself, and then it will apply the 18% after everything, after all the base is calculated. So that's what I mean by magnifying. It's very valuable, and it can be worn by anyone with God Key and Saiyans. So, and once again, it's going to be awakened equip, and you have to buy the cores with this rush panel. Is going to be such a hassle, but that's why I did it when I did a lot of awakened equips during the one day ultimate bonanza. Okay, so this next one is going to be giving you 50% the blue card damage, 10% base health, 15% health restoration, and 10% magnifying damage to both strike and blast attack if this character is a universe rep. So even though the equipment condition is just Saiyan, only wear it with MUI because they won't get the slot 3 benefits, and you can no longer buy this equipment anymore because it came out during the first PvP season of Anniversary. So hopefully you got it when it was still here, but all of the slots on this equipment are very valuable, including the health restoration, which will heal you more when you transform, and I believe when you use a green card it heals you. So, you know, the magnifying needs to be paired up with a base equipment, which, you know, just happens to be that the next one is a base strike focused equipment. Alright, we have arrived to our final equipment that I'm going to be showing you guys. If you guys watch this far, please like and subscribe. It will help me out a lot. But this is another awakened equipment that will give you 10% base key recovery, 10% special move damage, more base key recovery, and it will give you base 30% base strike attack. And do know that slot 3 can be either base strike attack or base blast attack, so make sure you're getting the base strike one. And this base key recovery can help you out when you're drifting and trying to dodge someone. You can recover key faster, so it's going to be pretty helpful. And again, the blue card damage is always going to be a pretty nice bonus because you want your blue card to hit hard and hopefully get the LF, so, you know, very helpful. Alright, so this section is almost like an TLDR kind of thing, where these equips I have on these battle members, the only 2 that I absolutely basically say that it's mandatory are these 2 per battle member. Like these 2 for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, mandatory, and these, oh shoot, and just putting any third equipment here will work. Like really just have these 2 and then any third equipment will work. Just plug it in, there you go. And see all these options I have for MUI, I can put in any single one of these equipments and it will work. Okay, so now we have our possible Zenkai buffers for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku here. I have them, every time I show you Zenkai buffers, I'm always going to have them in order from best Zenkai buffer to worst one. The best one here is going to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku, easily. Not only does he buff Yellow Saiyans, he's also going to be giving you, through their Z ability, it buffs their strike attack for Sun family members, so it's going to target everybody. LF Bardock buffs through his Z ability blast attack, and so does Super Vegeta, so both of these guys are going to be more mediocre than Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, but, you know, I also don't have Bardock or Super Vegeta at Zenkai level. Alright, so next up is Kaioken Goku, who, you know, he's a Red Saiyan, and notoriously Red Saiyans don't really have a good Zenkai buffer. Until now, because now Kaioken Goku is back, and he's back for a limited time, so definitely go and get him farmed up, because his Zenkai ability and his Z ability is probably the best, makes him the best character in the game. Like, best bench character, I should say, not just best character in the game. He sucks, like, damage-wise. But anyways, he gives half of a Zenkai buff to Red Saiyan, and his Z ability increases 20% max base health to any character that is Goku. So, considering this team is made up entirely Gokus, it is probably the best team, or the best buffer, Zenkai buffer, that you could possibly have. And red Super Saiyan 3 Goku buffs 33% to both base offenses, and it's only to red characters, so unless you have somebody on the leader slot that is not Kaioken Goku, then nobody else is going to get the buff. So just make sure that you have somebody that is not Kaioken Goku on the leader slot if you want to have Super Saiyan 3 Goku as a Zenkai buffer. And red Super Saiyan Goku, he buffs 25% base strike base strike attack, so it's not that great, and FSK is blast base, so don't use him. Alright, so next up we have MUI Goku for all of his Zenkai buffers. So, he has the most on average, so I have Android 18 as the best Zenkai buffer for him because her Z ability buffs both base offenses, base defenses. So he's going to be a lot more tankier, and obviously MUI should be good on his damage, so you want to be focusing a little bit more on his defenses for his bench so that he doesn't just get one shot by a bunch of stuff. So and on top of that, her Z ability also gives a little bit of base strike attack, so either way he's still getting buffed both mostly by defense but also by attack. So right after that I have Pan from GT because her Z ability buffs everybody, Sun family, for base strike attack. And right after that I have this LF Blue, Vegito Blue, because even though I don't have him Zenkai buff, he Zenkai buffs Blue and God Ki, and his Z ability also buffs the base strike attack of God Ki members, so he's pretty good. Though I do know he only is going to target both MUI and whoever's on the leader slot. And there's the blue Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan whatever, but he buffs base blast attack through his Z ability. And this Super Saiyan Bardock is not good because his Z ability buffs Super Saiyan, the Super Saiyan tag of all things. So unless MUI is going to be on the leader slot, which is not ideal, but unless he's on the leader slot, literally nobody's going to get his Z ability except for Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, who, Going on to my final thoughts, I wanted to make this video in addition to just the request in general, but also because this team is probably one of the better teams in the game right now, and because the World Tournament is coming up, I wanted you guys to have a better chance of, doing better in your matches. So even if you're not using this exact team, you can still use a lot of the equipments that I recommended you guys to use for, whether it be Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, Kaioken Goku, or MUI Goku, who, by the way, I don't know why people are recently saying, like, oh, I regret summoning for MUI Goku. Like, you're acting as if MUI Goku, like, all of a sudden after part 3, he sucks. Like, no. Like, yes, you have full power Frieza to, like, keep him in check, but at the end of the day, like people made this argument all the time for UMV, this is not a 1v1 game. This is a 3v3 game. You have party members. You're going to have people to help them out. So, MUI is still really good. I don't care what people say. I mean, it could also just be because I have a 12-star MUI, so it's not really fair, but this guy still performs really good. I don't know what people are talking about, like, oh, he sucks now. Like, no, he's still extremely good. You guys just play horribly, and by that, I really just mean you float in the back all the time, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to wait until he does something, and then my PV, a bunch of passive players are saying this, if I'm being honest. I've never really seen any, like, aggressive players be like, oh, MUI sucks now. Like, his damage is good, it's just you guys will really want to say that back. But it's turned into a mini MUI rant, but whatever. Yeah, you guys can still use the equipment that I recommended you guys for just about any team, especially the ones that I gave you guys at the beginning, where it's the universal equipment. So those especially you can use on just about any team. So I want to wish you guys the best of luck if you're joining the tournament, or if not, just I hope you guys do better in PvP now with the guide that I just made. So and definitely farm up Kaioken Goku. He's probably not coming back for a very, 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 very long time. So farm him up. I literally got him 14 stars the first day that he dropped. So but anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you next time.